Hi children, good morning. Welcome to online classes organized by Samagra Shiksha Andhra Pradesh. Children, how are you? I hope all are you safe at home. Because of corona pandemic period, please follow SMS. That means sanitize hands, wear mask and maintain social distance. I introduce myself. I am T. Lochna Sushanta, Biological Science CRT, KGBV Mopala, Guntur district. Children, today we are going to learn about the topic respiration, the energy producing system. By the end of this video, you will be able to define the term respiration, explain the term respiration, and explain the scientific research work done by scientists in the discovery of gases, as well as list out the major events in respiration. In first lesson, nutrition, we discussed how the body draws out nutrients from the food taken in. We know that food provides energy. How is it made possible? Yes, it is possible through the respiration. Yes, respiration leads to final utilization of food. It takes place with the help of oxygen and chemicals. Let us see the definition of respiration. The process by which cells use oxygen to break down sugar and obtain energy. It is a biochemical process. In this, energy is produced by the breakdown of glucose, which is nothing but a sugar. When oxygen is plentiful, respiration takes over normally. Respiration is derived from Latin word respire, which means breathing. It includes inhalation, utilization of gases and food at cellular level, and finally exhalation. Let us see the discovery of gases. How could the facts about gases exchange be revealed? The word breathing was used earlier to refer that the air is taken in and left out. Not even known that air is a mixture of gases. In 18th century, Lavoisier and Priestley did a comprehensive work on properties of gases and their exchange. Let us see the events or steps in respiration. It is very complex process of several biochemical and physical processes. But for a general understanding on what goes on, we shall study under the following headings. Major events or steps in respiration. First one, breathing. Movement of air in and out of lungs. Next one, gases exchange at lungs level. Exchange of gases between alveoli and blood. Next one, gas transport by blood. Transport of oxygen from blood capillaries to alveoli to body cells and return of carbon dioxide. Next one, gaseous exchange at tissue level. Exchanging of oxygen from blood into the cells and carbon dioxide from cells into the blood. And finally, cellular respiration. Using oxygen in cell processes to produce carbon dioxide and water, releasing energy to be used for life processes. Let us see about human respiratory system. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the different parts of human respiratory system and explain the pathway of air. Different parts of human respiratory system. Human respiratory system opens out with nostrils, which leads its way into nasal cavity. Inner surface of nasal cavity is lined with mucous membrane that secrete mucus, due to which the surface area is moistened. There are some hairs growing inside the nasal cavity which filter the dust particles from air. When air passes through the nasal cavity, its temperature is brought close to the body temperature. Next part in human respiratory system is pharynx. It is a common passage for digestive and respiratory system. Next part, epiglottis, a flap-like wall, controls the movement of food and air in their respective tracts. We will learn about epiglottis in the next video. After pharynx, next part larynx. It contains vocal cords. When air passes through the vocal cords, they vibrate and produce sounds. Hence, larynx is also called as voice box. Next part, trachea. Trachea is windpipe with C-shaped rings which avoid foldings. Trachea, which further divided into two bronchi. Each bronchus enters into the lungs. The lungs are big sac-like structures which are elastic in nature. Bronchi further divides into bronchioles. Bronchioles lead their way into clusters of air sacs called alveoli. These alveoli are very small and numerous. These are the parts in human respiratory system. Let us observe the pathway of air from nostril to alveolus. Air enters the body through the nose or mouth and quickly moves into the pharynx. From there, it passes to the larynx, voice box, and enters into the trachea. The trachea is a strong tube that contains C-shaped rings of cartilage that prevents it from collapsing. Within the lungs, the trachea branches into right and left bronchus. These further divided into smaller and smaller branches called bronchioles. The smallest bronchioles end in tiny air sacs. These are called alveoli. During gaseous exchange, oxygen leaves from the lungs to the bloodstream. At the same time, the carbon dioxide passes from the blood to the lungs. This happens in the lungs between the alveoli and network of tiny blood vessels called capillaries. Here you see red blood cells travel in capillaries. Oxygen and carbon dioxide diffuse between the alveolus and capillaries. Oxygen molecule attached to the red blood cells travel back to the heart. At the same time, carbon dioxide molecule in the alveoli are blown out of the body when person exhales. So gas exchange allow the body to replenish oxygen and eliminate carbon dioxide. Now let us aggregate the pathway of air. Air enters through the nostrils, continues with the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchioles, and finally reach the alveoli. In the alveoli, the gaseous exchange takes place, where oxygen diffused into blood and carbon dioxide is diffused out into the alveoli. This is how air enters and passes through the respiratory system in the pathway. The exchanged gas sent out by the same respiratory pathway. Let us discuss about the role of epiglottis in respiration. From the pharynx, there are two openings. One leads into the respiratory tract and another one into digestive tract. It is so important that the air moves into the respiratory tract whereas food moves into the digestive tract. It is much more important that the food should not enter into the respiratory tract as it may lead to the death of the person. Epiglottis, which is a flap-like wall which closes the windpipe while swallowing the food. It controls the movement of food and air in their respective tracts. When the air passes, Epiglottis keeps respiratory tract open, but only when we swallow food. It is just moved by the foot as it closes the way to the respiratory tract and prevent the entry of food into the respiratory tract. It allows the food to move into the digestive tract. It is regulated by the nervous system involuntary. Why? We are advised not to talk while eating food. Sound is produced when the air passes through the vocal cords. When we talk while eating, we allow both air and food at a time. Entry of food into the windpipe, which may lead to problems. Food particles enter into the respiratory system accidentally. They are sent out by the process of choking. Advised not to speak while talking. Next concept, mechanism of respiration in human beings. Breathing, it is a physical mechanism of taking in air and exhaling it out. It involves two steps. One is inhalation and another one is exhalation. Inhalation or inspiration, that is mechanism of taking in air. The diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle that separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. When the air entering into the lungs, the diaphragm flattens and the volume of chest cavity increased. Its internal pressure decreases and the air from the outside rushes into the lungs. Then the reverse occurs. Diaphragm relaxes and attains its original dome shape. These changes increases the pressure on the lungs and squeezes the air out through the nose to the external atmosphere. This is called expiration or exhalation. So, the breathing is the process of inhaling and exhaling. The organs involved are mainly the lungs. Next topic, gaseous exchange at alveoli to capillaries. How does oxygen reach all parts of the body and gets utilized? How is carbon dioxide carried to lungs? To get aware of all this, we need to go little more deep into the process of respiration. Now, let us see gaseous exchange at lungs level. Lungs are made up of alveoli, which are considered as structural and functional unit of lungs. These alveoli are small and tiny sac-like structures. The walls of alveoli are 1 cell thickness. These alveoli are surrounded by numerous blood capillaries, which are also made up of 1 celled thickened walls. The deoxygenated blood from the heart flows through these capillaries towards the alveoli. Then, carbon dioxide from the blood is diffused out of the capillaries into the alveoli. At the same time, oxygen from the alveoli is received by the blood in the capillaries. When we breathe out, carbon dioxide from alveoli is released out into the atmosphere through the respiratory tract. The oxygen-rich blood returns to the heart and pumped to all parts of the body. This is how gaseous exchange takes place at lungs level. Next topic, transportation of gases. Hemoglobin is the pigment present in the red blood cells, helps in the transportation of gases. It has more affinity to combine with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. It is transported to all parts of the body through bloodstream. Here it is represented as Hb plus O2, that means oxygen, gives rise to HbO2, nothing but oxyhemoglobin. This is taken place at lungs level. But at tissues, it is a reversible reaction. Oxyhemoglobin dissociate and release oxygen into the cells. But carbon dioxide has less affinity to combine with hemoglobin when compared to oxygen. Carbon dioxide is usually transported as bicarbonate, while some amount it combines with hemoglobin and rest is dissolved in blood plasma. Gaseous exchange at tissue level. The tissue cells are continuously using oxygen for their metabolic activities. Hence, concentration of oxygen is low in them. Due to low concentration of oxygen, oxyhemoglobin releases oxygen molecule into the cells. At the same time, carbon dioxide, which is produced due to cellular respiration at tissue level, transported to the lungs and expelled out by respiratory tract. Next concept, cellular respiration. Let us see definition of cellular respiration. It is the process by which organisms use oxygen to break down food molecules to get chemical energy for cell functions. So, cells release energy from the chemical bonds of food molecules that enter them. So, living cells must carry out cellular respiration because they get energy for the essential processes of life through this cellular respiration. But cellular respiration does not occur in a single reaction. In eukaryotic cells, it occurs in both cytoplasm and mitochondria. Breakdown of glucose molecule involves a series of biochemical reactions. It occurs in three phases. Number 1, glycolysis. Number 2, Krebs cycle. And number 3, electron transport system. Whereas glycolysis takes place in cytoplasm, Krebs cycle and electron transport system takes place in mitochondria. By the end of the process, the energy is released and stored in the form of ATP in mitochondria. Hence, mitochondria are called powerhouses of cell. ATP, which is called as adenosine triphosphate, it is an energy-rich compound that is capable of supplying energy at need. Hence, it is energy currency of our body. Each ATP molecule gives 7,200 calories of energy. Let us see the types of respiration. There are two types of respiration which we classify on the basis of the presence or absence of oxygen. They are aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. The respiration that takes place in the presence of oxygen is called aerobic respiration because it uses air which contains oxygen. Anaerobic respiration. The respiration that takes place in the absence of oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. Let us see the difference between aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration differs with anaerobic respiration in many ways. As far as oxygen is concerned, aerobic respiration takes place in presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration takes place in absence of oxygen. End products. Carbon dioxide and water are end products of aerobic respiration, whereas carbon dioxide along with either lactic acid or alcohol are end products of anaerobic respiration. Location. Aerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm and mitochondria, whereas anaerobic respiration takes place only in cytoplasm. Energy. More energy is produced in aerobic respiration, whereas less energy is produced in anaerobic respiration. Occurrence. In all plants and animal cells, aerobic respiration takes place, whereas in bacteria, yeast, human cells, anaerobic respiration takes place. Can energy be released without oxygen? Let us see anaerobic respiration in muscle cells. After undergoing strenuous exercise, why we feel pain in muscles? Because anaerobic respiration in human occurs in muscle cells during strenuous exercise when sufficient oxygen is not available. It results in the buildup of lactic acid leading to muscle fatigue. The lactic acid needs to be oxidized to carbon dioxide and water later. The creation of lactic acid generates an oxygen debt that need to be repaid after the exercise stops. This is why we keep on breathing deeply for a few minutes after we have finished exercising. Next concept, anaerobic respiration in yeast. If human cells can go on releasing energy when they are short of oxygen, what can cells of other living organisms do the same? Let us find out by doing some experiments. To test this idea, we can do some experiments with yeast. Anaerobic respiration is the process of producing cellular energy in the absence of oxygen. During anaerobic respiration, glucose molecules are break down into carbon dioxide, ethanol and release energy. Materials required are flask, yeast, liquid paraffin, lime water, delivery tube and thermometer. First step, prepare glucose solution. Remove dissolved oxygen from glucose solution by heating it for a minute and cool it without shaking. Next step, pour glucose solution into the flask. Next step, add some yeast to the glucose solution. Pour some liquid paraffin. It forms as a layer on the glucose solution and it prevents the entering of oxygen which is present in the atmosphere. Then close the flask with a 2-hole cork by using either rubber stopper or thermocol. Then take lime water in a test tube. Next, arrange a delivery tube from glucose solution to lime water through one hole of the cork. Next, insert a thermometer into the glucose solution through another hole. Then, note the initial temperature of thermometer in your notebook. See that lime water which is very clear during starting of experiment. After one day, what changes occur in this experiment? Observe that temperature increased in the thermometer. Later, lime water turns into milky white. This indicates that carbon dioxide is released in anaerobic respiration and alcoholic smell is observed in the flask. The anaerobic respiration done by the yeast is called as fermentation. If yeast and sugar solution are left to stand without oxygen for some days, they develop a characteristic smell caused by production of new compound called ethanol, which has been manufactured by the yeast from the sugar. Let us see the difference between respiration and combustion. The difference between respiration and combustion is quite apparent when you realize that chemically it is the same thing. However, certain processes and enzymes in our body that regulate this process of releasing energy so that our food does not spontaneously undergo combustion like fuel in rockets or automobiles. Let us see some differences between respiration and combustion. Respiration is a cellular process, while combustion does not occur inside the living cell. Respiration is a controlled biological process, while combustion is an uncontrolled process. Energy is released in a stepwise manner in respiration, whereas energy is released in a single step in combustion. A part of the energy is liberated as heat in respiration, whereas most of the energy is liberated as heat in combustion. Respiration takes place at normal temperature, whereas combustion takes place at high temperature. Respiration involves various enzymes, whereas no enzymes are involved in combustion process. Next concept, evolution of gases exchanging system. All organisms need to breathe. Do all organisms breathe like human beings? Exchange of gases is a common life process in all living organisms, but it is not same in all. It depends on their body organization and habitat where they are living. Types of respiratory organs in different animals. In single-celled organisms like amoeba or multicellular organisms like hydra and planarians obtain oxygen and expel carbon dioxide directly from the body by the process of diffusion. Multicellular organisms, either terrestrial or aquatic, which consists of well-developed organization in their body, develop different respiratory organs depending on the availability of gases, water and habitat. Earthworm, which belongs to phylum Annelida, it always keeps its skin moistened. Skin plays a major role in gaseous exchange in earthworm. This type of respiration through skin is called as cutaneous respiration. Insects belongs to phylum Arthropoda contain exoskeleton which resists the gaseous exchange. Hence they developed the tracheal system which consists of series of tubes called trachea. This is divided into fine branches called tracheoles which carry air directly to the cells in the tissue. This type of respiration is known as tracheal respiration. So tracheal respiration, example insects. Some aquatic animals like fishes have developed special organs for respiration which are known as gills or bronchi. Blood supplied to gills through capillaries which have thin walls where gases are exchanged. This is called bronchial respiration. Fish keeps its mouth open and lowers the floor of the oral cavity. As a result, water from outside will be drawn into the oral cavity. Now, the mouth is closed and the floor of the oral cavity is raised. Water is pushed into the pharynx and is forced into the gill pouches. Here, gill lamellae are bathed with water and gaseous exchange takes place. So, the type of respiration which occurs through gills or bronchi in aquatic animals is called as bronchial respiration. Examples for brachial respiration are fishes, some crabs, and tadpole larvae. Amphibians Example, frog. Frog, it is an amphibian. It is known as amphibian because it lives on land and in water. In frog, respiration takes place in three ways. One is cutaneous, second one is buccopharyngeal, and third one is pulmonary respiration. In cutaneous respiration, through the skin, which keeps its skin always moistened, buccopharyngeal respiration is through buccal cavity, and pulmonary respiration is through lungs when it takes place when frog is on the land. Terrestrial animals like reptiles, birds and mammals, they respire through lungs. This type of respiration through lungs is called as pulmonary respiration. Some examples for pulmonary respiration are mammals, birds and reptiles. Next topic, respiration in plants. Do plants breathe? This is the main question when we think about plant respiration. As plants do not have any specialized organs like lungs, so we can say that plants do not breathe. But plants also get energy by the process of respiration. Oxygen is also required by plants to produce energy and carbon dioxide is released. Let us see the gases exchange in plants. In plants, almost every part respire oxygen obtained from the atmosphere diffuses in through stomata in leaves, lenticels present in the old stems, and general surface of roots. Respiration through stomata. Stomata are small apertures found on the surface of the leaf. For the process of respiration, oxygen enters stomata by the process of diffusion and then into other cells of the leaf. This oxygen is utilized in the breakdown of glucose to carbon dioxide and water. This does not occur in a single step but in a series of steps. When concentration of carbon dioxide increases inside the cells, it is diffused out through stomata. Respiration through lenticels. Lenticels are the openings in the bark of woody stems. They also serve as place of gaseous exchange. Observe the picture of lenticels present on the stem. Respiration through general surface of the roots. Ploughing or tilling of the soil creates a small air spaces around soil particles, which provide the sources of oxygen for the roots. This oxygen present between the soil particle diffuses into root hairs. By the process of diffusion, from the root hairs, oxygen diffuses into other cells of the root. After utilization of oxygen, carbon dioxide is diffused out into the soil. In older roots, there are no root hairs present. Instead, they have a layer of dead cells which is protective in nature and encloses small openings. These are used for gaseous exchange between soil and inner living cells. Respiration takes place both in the presence and in the absence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight, the stomata are open, photosynthesis is in progress, and the oxygen thereby produced is used for respiration. The carbon dioxide produced during respiration is used in photosynthesis. Excess gases formed are given out through stomata. In the absence of sunlight, the stomata are closed. There is less oxygen in the air spaces between cells than in the atmosphere outside the plant. So, oxygen diffuses into the plant through the lenticels and the stomata. Carbon dioxide produced during respiration at night diffuses out through the lenticels and the stomata. Some plants have specialized structures like breathing roots of mangrove plants as well as the tissue in orchids that produce oxygen. Let us take a look over mangroves. Mangroves are the plants which have their roots in very wet places such as ponds or marshes, and they are unable to obtain oxygen. So, these mangroves have specialized above ground roots called breathing roots or pneumatophores. These roots have numerous pores through which oxygen enters into the underground tissues. Breathing roots help a plant that grows in marshy areas. To know more about respiration in plants, we should perform the following activities. First activity, experiment to prove that carbon dioxide is liberated during respiration. The materials required for this experiment are: first one, dry seeds, germinating seeds, 2 bottles, 2 beakers, lime water. Take 2 clean, transparent and wide-mouthed bottles. Next, take some dry seeds in a bottle. Take some germinating seeds in another bottle. Take 2 small beakers, fill them 3/4 with lime water. Place each beaker in each bottle and close the bottles tightly. In both sets, lime water is very clear. Keep these sets undisturbed for 2 days. After 2 days, what changes you are going to observe are: see, the beaker which is in germinating seeds show the lime water turns into milky white. Then the beaker which is in dry seeds. So the rate of respiration is more for germinating seeds when compared with the dry seeds. Lime water which is present in the bottle containing germinating seeds change more milky white than the other one. It indicates that carbon dioxide is liberated during respiration. Next activity is release of heat during respiration. Let us perform an activity on how the heat is produced during the process of respiration. Aim to show the release of heat during respiration. Place the germinating seeds in the thermoflask. Remove the lid of thermoflask and prepare a cork with the help of thermocol or rubber or any other material provided the cork must have a hole at the center in order to insert a thermometer. Now, close the flask with this tight fitting cork and insert the thermometer through its hole. Take care that bulb of the thermometer must dip into the germinating seeds. Seal the hole present in the middle of the cork with either grease or Vaseline after inserting the thermometer through it. Record the temperature once for every 2 hours and continue this process for a total duration of 24 hours. Observe and note down the readings. Later, it is observed that the temperature is increasing steadily. Thus, from this experiment, it is understood that the heat gets released during respiration. Next concept, photosynthesis versus respiration. Respiration and photosynthesis are biological reactions in the environment that complement each other. Both are similar reactions that occur in a specific manner. In the process of respiration, oxygen and glucose yield water and carbon dioxide, while carbon dioxide and water yield glucose and oxygen during the process of photosynthesis. Both cellular respiration and photosynthesis are parts of a mutually beneficial relationship. Photosynthesis cannot occur without cellular respiration, and cellular respiration certainly cannot occur without photosynthesis. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration are in many respects the reverse of one another. Photosynthesis is an anabolic process, whereas cellular respiration is a catabolic process. Let us explore more differences between photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Photosynthesis, which occurs only in phototrophs. Example, all green plants, algae and some bacteria. Whereas respiration occurs in all living organisms. Photosynthesis, the entire process occurs in chloroplasts, whereas the entire process of respiration occurs in mitochondria of the cell. Carbon dioxide, water and light energy are the reactants of photosynthesis, whereas glucose and oxygen are the reactants of respiration. Let us see byproducts of photosynthesis and respiration. Glucose, oxygen and water are the end products of photosynthesis, whereas carbon dioxide, water and energy in the form of ATP are the end products of respiration. Photosynthesis undergoes anabolic process. Children, you know about anabolic process? Anabolism is a biochemical process in metabolism where simple molecules combine to generate complex molecules. It needs energy for this process. Whereas respiration undergoes a catabolic process. Catabolism means breakdown of complex molecules into simple molecules. In respiration, the glucose molecule breaks down into smaller molecules like carbon dioxide and water. In this catabolic process, energy is released. In photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is taken in and oxygen is liberated out, whereas in respiration, reverse process occurs. Oxygen is taken in and carbon dioxide is liberated out. In photosynthesis, food is synthesized by capturing energy, whereas in respiration, the food particles are broken down to release energy in the form of ATP. Photosynthesis is an endothermic reaction as it requires energy, whereas respiration is exothermic reaction as energy is released in this process. Photosynthesis process requires sunlight since photosynthesis occurs only in the presence of sunlight, whereas respiration process does not require sunlight since cellular respiration occurs all the time. The chemical reaction of photosynthesis is carbon dioxide plus water gives rise to glucose plus oxygen. Here the chemical formula of glucose is C6H12O6. In respiration, the chemical reaction is glucose plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide and water. Okay children, I hope all you understood the video of respiration lesson. So, answer the following questions and note them in your notebooks. First question, expand ATP. Second one, which organ produces sound in respiratory system? Third one, what is the main cause of muscle fatigue in exercise? Fourth one, write difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. And fifth one, what is the role of epiglottis and diaphragm in respiration? After watching this video, once go through the textbook, then you will get the concept of lesson very easily. Once again, take care children, stay home and stay safe. Thank you for everyone watching this video.